taking over for another week. Marty, thank you again for having me. I'm so excited because today we're going to build on the last lesson we talked about, very popular chord progressions. And so we're going to take all of that information and sort of build on it and show you where the chord progressions can go and how you can take those 4 chords and play even more songs with them. And then I'm going to teach you one more chord to kind of throw into the mix of the most common chord progressions. So let's get started. Okay, so I think last time we talked about the famous 1564. Now, if that sounds like gibberish to you, we're referring to the Nashville number system. So the Nashville number system is just kind of a fancy way of saying every chord in the key of your song has a number assigned to it. So let's say we were in the key of G. G would be our 1. And then the most standard chords that you are going to find in a song are the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, and the 6 minor chord. And that basically goes G, A, B, C, D, and E minor. So you literally just count them. That's kind of how the Nashville number system works. And when you get so good at the Nashville number system, you can just be like, okay, G, your 4 is going to be a C chord, your 5 is going to be a D chord, and your 6 minor is going to be an E minor chord. And you just kind of get it entrenched in your brain the more you practice these things. But for the purposes of today, we'll use the numbers, but just know that I'm referring to that system. We also have another lesson, I think, talking about the Nashville number system. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely check that out. But last time I think we went over 1564. So I would like to take those same chords and plug them into a different, really popular, common chord progression. So we are going to start with 64-15. So basically you are going to start with the 6 minor, which sometimes, you always think that your song starts in the key of your first chord, but that's not always the case. And in this popular common chord progression, it definitely does not start with the key of like your first chord isn't the key of the song. So we're going to start with our 6 minor chord. So if we're in the key of G, we'll review quick. G is our 1, C is our 4, D is our 5, and E minor is our 6. And so if we were going to play 64-15, we would play 6 minor, 4, 1, 5. It's just sort of the lingo. We all just like kind of push them together and say 64-15, but it really means 6 minor, 4, 1, 5. So the chord progression would sound a little bit like this. So it's that easy, and I'm sure you could hear so many songs sung over that chord progression because it's used by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs. If I could list all of them, this YouTube video would probably be way too long. It is a very, very common chord progression, and so anytime you see a song starting with a minor, it might be a 64-15 song, I'll also show you where you can play the chords in an open position if you don't want to play them up the neck in the same key. So if we're still in G, we still would play 64-15. That would be E minor, C, G, and then D. So it would look like this. All right, so that is, I would say, the next most common chord progression that you will find in songs. And keep an eye out when you see a song starting with that minor chord, be like, oh, you know what? This could be a 64-15 song. All right, so let's play a little bit with 64-15 and see what kind of tones we can get. I'm still gonna stay in G so you guys know where I'm at, but let's try this. of like adding that passing tone in between your 5 and your 6 minor. Especially when you're approaching the end of 64-15. It's kind of a nice little flavor you can add in there. I want to show you one more popular chord progression that you'll see a lot in jazz music sometimes, or in sort of turnarounds. What a turnaround is it's a section right before the start of a chorus or right before the end of a chorus sometimes, to sort of melodically be like, okay, here's your hook of your song is coming right now. And so it's a trick that a lot of songwriters use sometimes to basically be like, pay attention to me, the hook is coming here. And it's a very popular progression to be used in turnarounds or jazz music, and it utilizes the 2 chord. 2 chords are so much fun because the second degree of your key is usually always a minor. So let's use our same example for in the key of G. Our 2 chord would be an A minor chord. So it's a really beautiful chord to kind of give you a different flavor. If you're always used to playing your 6 minor chord, the 2 kind of just adds a little bit of spice that maybe you weren't even thinking about. Maybe you were just thinking about your G's and your E minors and your C's and your D's, and you're like, oh, what if I threw in an A minor? So the chord progression I would like to talk about is 2, 5, 1, 6 minor. So in the key of G, that would be A minor, then a D, then a G, then an E minor. And do you notice how it just gives it a different little flair? If you're a songwriter maybe, or you're just wanting to learn some new chords, adding the 2 minor is so much fun to be able to throw into some of your songs. And this is a very common chord progression that you will hear that isn't your standard 1, 4, 5, 6 minor. Throwing the 2 in there just lets you experiment a little bit more. So this is what it sounds like. So you're still in the key of G, and you're not starting on the 6 minor, but this time you're starting on the 2 minor. So there you have it, you guys. 2 more common chord progressions to build on the ones you already learned if you checked out our previous video. I'm Lindsay L. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Marty Music as well as my own channel, and hopefully we'll see you next time.